So I've nearly been in business for 3 years now, and you know what the crazy part is? In the last 5 months, we've managed to triple our business compared to the last 2.5 years. Just imagine that. That's 30 months of pushing, grafting, learning, and just to triple that in just 5 months. Now you might be asking, how did this happen? Well, it wasn't luck. Over the last 2.5 years, we've learned so much. And I was reflecting on this the other day, and I feel like it comes down to these 5 things that's massively changed in this year alone compared to the last couple of years. That has massively changed our mindset. This has just been a complete game changer for us, and I can't wait to cover this in this video. Now, what I'm gonna do in this video is I'm gonna break down the 5 mindset shifts that we found that when we change this, it has massive growth in our business. And I'm hoping that by me sharing this can help you save hundreds of thousands of pounds or even make hundreds of thousands of pounds and generate your revenue and grow your business like we've been able to in the last 5 to 6 months. Now, the biggest one for myself was removing limiting beliefs. I didn't realize how many limiting beliefs I had until 5 months ago. I'm going to admit that. Like, it's dramatically changed how I think. Now, 5-6 months ago, I would say things like we would need to do XYZ before we could get funding, or even say something like we would need to do XYZ to go after this opportunity, or that we weren't ready for a certain deal. Now, just imagine that, I was saying these things that would stop us from these opportunities. Now, it's turned out that once I've actually gone into these opportunities and looked into them more, it's actually so much more easier, or we had the experience levels ready to actually take up on this. Now, these opportunities aren't tiny little things. These are things that I almost talked myself out of that could be hundreds of thousands of pounds of profit each year if I did this. And that is insane to think. And now we're in the process of being able to do these things, and it's rapidly growing our business. But I almost missed out on this opportunity. I cannot stress this enough. It was razor thin that I didn't do this. And it haunts me today to think that I wouldn't have done that, because that's going to propel the next 2 to 3 years for ourselves. Now, a lot of these beliefs weren't because I didn't think I was good enough. It was because I felt like I wasn't surrounding myself with the right people at the same time. Like, the things that we were doing were not what everyone else around us was doing. And that's quite hard when you're in business, you've got certain goals. It's not to say other people's goals aren't correct or they're good. We just have a certain way of doing stuff. And, in where we are, it just wasn't something that was being able to be done. So yeah, it was driving us to start thinking that we had to do what other people had to do. And this was a massive limiting belief that really held us down. It stopped us from doing what we wanted to do, which was growing our businesses, buying businesses, and looking into more property stuff, because that was a natural route because we had a property business. But there could have been maybe 3 or 4 flips a year, which could be maybe 80 to 100 grand, compared to doing other things like acquiring businesses that could be hundreds of thousands of pounds a year, alongside that having a valuation on top of that as well. So yeah, it's just mind-boggling to think about how much the limiting beliefs have stopped us. And now we have opportunities left, right, and center. We've been able to start a new business, we've been able to acquire a new business, we're doing all these type of things. Now, the thing about limiting beliefs is that you kind of get bought into this genre of thinking that certain things are too good for you, or that's too much of a risk. But you just have to break through that. You just simply cannot think like this, because this will impact how much you grow and how fast you're going to grow in your business. Because I can guarantee you this, I remember last year, I thought that you couldn't get funding to buy a business or to acquire a business. And it is so much more simpler. It's still not easy, but you can do it if you have the power team around you. A lot of people just assume, just like people think running a business is impossible. It's very hard, but there's so much you don't actually need to know to get into business. It's just this limiting belief that a lot of people think about, and you just need to check yourself. Honestly, think about right now. It's almost a good exercise just to go get a pen and a piece of paper. In the last 4 or 5 months, what have you told yourself that you couldn't do? And challenge yourself to see how you could actually do that. And you'll be baffled by what you come out with. Now, a massive thing about this limiting belief is also around the people that you are surrounding yourself with. Now, for us, we're around a lot of property people in where we're located, and that's not a bad thing. Property is a fantastic opportunity and to grow, but for us, it just wasn't the path that we wanted to go down, and it was really eating us alive. Honestly, we were just sitting around for 5 or 6 months thinking about that we had to do property flips, and it's just not what we wanted to do. We wanted to be a lot more aggressive with how we approach wealth building. and being around these people, it was like the natural push to do that, and we weren't around people that wanted to do what we were doing. So this is a critical part as well. So that brings me on to my next mindset shift per se, was surrounding myself with like-minded people that had the same goals and kind of the same final destination place that we wanted to be. Now, like I said, we are surrounded by a lot of property people with our property business, and again, it's a fantastic, it's definitely an amazing avenue to go down to for wealth building. But like I said, for us, what we had to do is we had to go out and find the people that were similar to us, wanting to buy businesses, grow businesses, scale. And once we did that, it's really crazy, okay, what the world throws at you. We thought about doing this, and then all of a sudden, on the train, going to London, we sat down next to someone that was doing what we wanted to do. And from there, the rest is history. We've been educating ourselves, we've been doing other things in this realm, and still talking to those people, networking in this type of group of people. And it's been astonishing what opportunities have come to us, okay? So, now we're speaking to those people constantly. It just fuels you, It's like, rather than being in the rooms where, and this is where another problem came, is we were being the people that people look up to in that room. And that's fantastic. It's crazy because I was once the person that was looking up to other people in the room, to going to the rooms where you feel uncomfortable and that you're not the most successful person in there. Now, I'm not saying I'm the most successful person by any means, okay? And that's fantastic. I want to surround myself with other people making millions of pounds a year. That's the aim and that's the goal, okay? You always want to be leveling up. Where you were a year ago may not be the place for you now. And we had to learn that the hard way by eventually, we took too long and it was too slow. So this has been a pivotal thing for myself. I know there's a cliche saying where you're just as good as the other people in the room, or, the other 5 best people in the room. So you need to surround yourself with these people. This is so important. It's massively changed how we're focused, and it's just so energetic. I can't stress this enough. You need to do it. I probably spent 2 years not thinking it wasn't that important, and I wish we were just constantly doing this, paying to go to London or go to wherever you are in the world. Like, if you're not in a big city, go to these places. You'll find people. You will just be infatuated by their skill and their charisma. It is critical. So the next mindset shift was acquiring knowledge. Now, we've had mentors throughout the last couple of years, and we've paid decent money for them, but this year it's just been another level of our investment. Okay, we spent over £20,000 in mentors this year. So the next mindset shift was just acquiring as much knowledge as possible and being able to get the knowledge in a fast method to win, basically. Now, we've invested in mentors throughout our business career, but this year we're just taking it to another level. Now, to date in September, we've already invested over £20,000 this year, okay? And that may double by the end of this year. We are going ham, for a worse word, into acquiring knowledge. And this is on business mentoring, this is on social media, this is on our current businesses that we're running as well, building personal brand, all these type of things. We are just acquiring this because we know that this is going to be a good investment. And every single time we've made this, we've always got an ROI. Now, again, we're not talking about paying for 1 or 2 grand courses here. We're talking high ticket courses, the best of the best in the world to teach us these type of things. And there's different levels to this. Like, I was in a room once when someone said he spent over £300,000 just in mentorship in one of the years he did. And I was sitting there like, wow, that seems excessive back then. But now I'm like, no, I understand that, because it is crazy what it does to you. Not only do you get the mentorship, the information, most of the time, again, going back to the other point, you get these community groups that just fuel you again. But we are on a mission to keep investing. And yeah, like I said, we've been able to get 3x our ROI or 3x our growth in the last 5 months, and it's a big part to these investments. Now, what's really important, and I just want to say this as like a little bit of a side note, is that it doesn't matter what course you buy or what person you work with, no one's going to hand it to you on a silver platter. Like, being part of these groups, sometimes you realize that some people really don't put their own stamp onto these things and they cruise control, and then you see the other people that really dive into this and get all involved in it. They are successful people, and we've really made that a priority, being involved in the community groups, making sure that we smash through the education, and we've just been really fast on it. We haven't just sat there, bought something and then waited like a month to get it done. No, we're trying to binge that in the week to then go implement that. So it's really critical, this. A lot of people do invest into coaching, but a lot of people don't actually action it. So my best tip is just, once you buy it, if you get access to it straight away, just start binging it, start watching it, because you're in that hot cognition area. You just want to get involved in it, and it's going to stick more in your brain. Now, the next shift, this is a massive one for me, was allowing failure. There is no such thing as perfection in business. No matter what business you look at, Tesla, Apple, no business is perfect, and you need to accept 80 to 85% of things going well well and the other 10 to 15% of things going wrong. And this really killed me because I was striving for perfection all the time. I was getting stuck into the weeds and I was just constantly distracting myself. And this is the lesson I had to learn the hard way. If you punish every mistake, you kill morality and you also kill culture. And these things you must keep into your business. Like, it was so bad at one point that I was looking at every single message, every single issue. I was getting so worked up when something went wrong. I was staying up at night trying to fix these things I was paying someone else to do. And all that did was just take me away from the big picture stuff. It was taking away from starting my personal brand or developing more skills or working on new revenue streams. All the big picture things that are actually going to make you money. And now since the last 5 months, all I've been doing is focusing on all of the big picture things. And as you can see, it's been working. Now, I've literally trained myself to not go into these chats or to not get involved, to the point in which I've actually deleted Slack channels and also communication channels with my team that it stops me going in there. Now, my team can always reach me and I can always get visibility to things that actually need my attention. But what you actually find is that your attention is sapped and taken for things that you don't need. And it's actually your responsibility as the business owner to eliminate those. But people will always keep taking your time if you keep it to them because you have the skills and the knowledge that they want. But if you train them in the way to actually enable them to do that job, then you can gain the time back. This was a massive learning curve for me, as apparently I'm a perfectionist. It was hard. Now, the other thing about this was not only just being perfectionist, but worrying about losing money. I've had to accept now, and I've lost thousands of pounds before from team mistakes, is that it's just IP. You learn what happens. Now, I'm not telling you to just ignore every single mistake or every single issue, every single risk that could cost you tens of thousands of pounds, or even a couple of thousand if you can obviously see that from the get-go. But there's certain things that you just need to accept that are going to happen. You may lose 500 to 1,000 to 2,000 pounds from a mistake or a process not being correct, and that is just an opportunity cost to learn, fix it, and then that never happens again. Now, for me, I was always trying to plug things to stop things happening, and now if I lose 500 to 1,000 pounds to get a certain thing, I just kind of brush it off and go, cool, we've now learned, let's crack on and fix it. Again, I'm not saying ignore things that are going to cost you a lot of money, because obviously you need to sort that, because that is a risk, but you have to just accept that, again, things aren't going to be perfect. You may lose money. Focus on growing business, because for me, if someone takes 3 to 4 hours to fix and we lose 500 pounds, it's actually not worth my time to fix that. I may as well go out and generate revenue for my business, which is going to give me a bigger ROI. And this is just the mindset shift I had to go through to really excel our business over the last 5 to 6 months. Now, the last one really hurts me to admit, because I always think of myself as, I've got a nickname as Turbo, but the last one was speed. Like, when you first start out in business, you're doing a lot of the stuff yourself, so everything's fast, quick. You're just really flowing with it. You're just scrapping to get things done, and just things are always in motion. But then you start to hire, you get new staff, you get new systems, you get new processes, you have more of your time sapped away, and things really start to slow down. Now, this is the reality check. The moment you slow down, the competitors overtake you. They speed up. And here's the thing. Most people start to slow down when everything starts to get bigger, because now there's more people to make decisions. And what actually happens is people strive for that 100% certainty, or 100% information, or 100% involvement. And before, it was just you just making decisions. You had no one else to kind of tell you what to do, really. And what ended up happening was you would just get things done. This is so critical to any business. You have to be fast. And Jeff Bezos used to say you have to be able to make decisions on 70 to 80% of the information and live with the consequences. Now, once we started to grow, the issue that happened was we started to slow down decisions. Like, things that we were known for being quick on, again, it just slowed down. And in the last 6 months, I've really made a focus on all the businesses to make sure speed is top of mind. We need to get things done. We can't debate and look at all these kind of things that are really redundant in the end of the day. So I try to make a policy, like within a week, make a decision or make a move on something. Now, it could be quicker, but I just can't stress how important it is to just be able to make decisions. Great example, recently I made a decision that I need to learn LinkedIn a lot better. I need to be able to master this. I need to be able to create content better on this. So I've automatically gone out to find an expert, booked on a call, spoken to some people, and I've got a decision to be making, or I've already made the decision who I'm going to go, I'm going to pay them. It's just rapid, okay? Rather than trying to go speak to 6 or 7 or 8 people, I think this is the right person, I'm going to pay them. It's not life-changing money. It's enough to be able to get my skill that I need. The ROI is pretty quick, bang, decision made. Now I can wait 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks to find the perfect person and then that not work. And then what ends up happening is that I've lost 4 to 5 weeks, and then that could be tens or 20 or 100 or even millions of dollars, depending on what business you're in. So this is crucial. You have to be quick, because the other person could be doing it right now and you could be missing out on that money. And like I said before about investing in a lot of courses, that was a quick decision. It was basically sold on the call and I'm paid. And I was not about, I used to would probably spoken to about 5 or 6 different people again, but I just said, yep, cool, let's do it. And that is paid massively. Like that just alone could be making us hundreds of thousands of pounds just from being able to make that decision, that information that I gathered. And that, I guarantee Zach a year ago would have been slow, wouldn't have done that, and may still not have invested right now. And it is just critical of a skill. I've invested a lot of money in other courses right now, and this took days to make the decision. It was bang, 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 start. Learning information, and I've already applied that, and it's going to pay massive dividends out. I'm not going to announce it yet, but there's so much that's going on with this that's going to be super cool. And Zach a year ago would never have done this. I can guarantee that. The speed and the overthinking that would have happened, it would have killed this, and I would just go on days and days and days and days and days without doing it. And what really annoys me is I had a decision to make something late last year, and I know that's cost me about 60 to 70 grand by just waiting an extra 2 to 3 months, and that is so frustrating, because when you can just make a decision and you're just sitting on there and you're just being slow, you're trying to piece all the information, trying to get 100%, and you have this opportunity here that now obviously I know they could have made us 60, 70, 80 grand. The cost was actually zero. It was just time, and I still didn't make that decision because I was just overthinking it. I can't express it. It's just such a strange thought to think, even just 9 to 10 months ago I wouldn't have done it, and then now thinking of the speed, you just got to do it. Anything that's not going to make you bankrupt and not lose an insane amount of money, you can just take action on 70 to 80% of it and live with the consequences. Obviously there's certain things that you need to really dive into. You're not going to just pick a business partner with 50% of the information. That may suck, but yeah, speed is key to every single business. Decisions and actioning things, and even getting rid of bad teams as well. And this is a powerful lesson that I'm learning right now. Once you start making money and you act quick to reinvest that, you start to make way more money quicker. And we've been sitting on money in the past, not wanting to do stuff, or not want to be being risk avert. And this year we've just invested, put money into certain things, and it just feels like a conveyor belt. Like it feels like something big is building, and next year's going to be even bigger. So yeah, speed is critical. Get back to being that entrepreneur, solo entrepreneur mindset of just getting things done, not just waiting for the bureaucracy to happen. It just slows things down. So yeah, that's the 5 mindset shifts that I've been thinking about for the last couple of weeks now. That's really been life-changing. It's literally allowed our business to 3x in 5 months compared to the last 2.5 years. And I know it feels like I'm oversimplifying it, but honestly, these 5 things have massively changed the course of our business and our entrepreneurial career. And it's crazy to reflect on, really. I know if you go out there and fix these mindset shifts, you will be able to maybe start your business or grow your business dramatically right now, okay? So you want to be getting rid of those limiting beliefs. No opportunity is too big for yourself. Even if it is, let someone else tell you that is. And even when they tell you that is too big for you, fight it back. That's happened to me before. Until you get a no, until that doesn't happen again, just keep going with it. Do not let someone tell you, even yourself, you can't do something, because that is it's just not where you want to be, okay? Number 2, constantly surround yourself with the right people. This is so underrated. Honestly, you need to get around the same people, the same journey as you. It's crucial. Networking, and also just the mindset and competitiveness, it is infectious. You've got to do it. Number 3, constantly keep learning. Buy for time and speed and experience. Get the right course, get the right mentor. There's a lot of mentors out there. Do due diligence. A lot of them not good. Let's just say the least. Find the person that's right for yourself, and then take action quickly on that. And that, again, number 4, speed, make sure you're doing things fast, don't take too long, have quick decision making, go back to that first week in business where you just wanted to get everything done, branding, all that kind of stuff. There's so much you have to get done. Just get back to that, yeah? It's the fun place to be, it's action taking, it's just really, really good culture as well. Don't be slow like the corporate, it's not nice. And lastly, allow yourself to fail. All part of business is that you're going to fail, and you're going to learn more from your failures than you are from your successes. So once you fail a little bit, do not worry, don't get bogged down in all the details. Make sure that you're focusing on all the big picture things that are going to make you money rather than some of the things that are losing you a little bit of money. You know, obviously you want to plug those gaps, but don't worry if your team is doing things 80% to 85% of this is what you want to be on. No one's yourself. People will not be as good as you in your own business, hence why they're not running their own business. You need to accept that. But I hope that you've taken some value from this video. I hope that you're able to reflect and think about yourself, your situation, where you're at right now, what you're doing, what's holding you back. Honestly, if you focus on your mind and focus on yourself, I am not someone that believes or used to believe that it would make a massive impact. I thought you had to hustle and the work, the job done. It's not the case, honestly. It really isn't. The last 5 months has shown you this. If you focus on yourself and the structure and who you're around and your own thought processes, honestly, your reality becomes true, and yeah, you're going to be making some money and changing your world. So yeah, hopefully this has helped, and all the best to everyone. Hopefully making some money, and hopefully this is going to change your life like it has mine.